Welcome back for another episode, guys. This week I've got 24 hours in North Wales to visit as many castles as possible. So how's all this going to work? Well, I'm only going to be visiting castles during daylight hours, so I'll be staying in the truck bed overnight. I've got to stop and explore as much of the castles as I possibly can without having to pay an admission fee. And then finally, I'm not going to be checking the accessibility of each castle. I'm just going to turn up and roll with whatever happens. So I've got until 10 AM tomorrow morning, so let's go and explore our first castle in Hardwyn. So I've just pulled up a Hardwyn Castle, and already the challenge of not being able to check the accessibility is playing out, as there's signs up on this one saying it's viewing by appointment only. So I'm going to head into the farm shop and see if there's any other way to explore the castle. So I just spoke to the girl in the shop, and unfortunately it is strictly by appointment only, but she did say I might be able to go and view the old castle ruins from a footpath, so we'll go and have a little bit of an explore and see what we can find. So the first castle I'm heading over to is in Hardwyn in Flintshire. I believe it's a medieval castle, and it was actually destroyed in 1282 in the Welsh uprising, so I don't think there's going to be much left of this one. There's an absolutely massive bird of prey just sitting in the tops of the trees up there. Probably going to be a big buzzard. There he is, just there. And there's the castle behind. Here we go, guys. Our first castle of the trip. Or castle ruins anyway. That might be a common theme through this video. So after this was destroyed in 1282, which was the final battle for the Welsh uprising against Edward I, there was another castle built nearby, which is the one we tried to get to before, and that was actually home to one of the UK's former Prime Ministers, William Gladstone. You can just see a little bit more of the ruins there as well. I think that's as far as I'll be able to go here. Bit of a fence that goes right around the rest of the perimeter. So I'll head off and go and find our next castle. Right, hopefully we have a bit more luck at the next one. We can get a little bit closer. There we go, there's our next one. Ulo Castle. Well, that was nice and simple. A quick 10-minute drive. So we're at Ulo Castle now. I think it's just a short walk along a footpath, and hopefully we can explore this one a little bit more than the last. I think we'll put some wellies on. Last one was a bit muddy and wet. On to castle number 2 then. These are pretty cool. Looks like the coat of arms for whoever used to own the castle. Looks like lions in that one. Maybe birds in that. Well, that's handy. Here already. Looks like there's just 2 main parts of the castle left. I think we can get down there, so let's go and have a look. There we go, made it to our second castle. So this is what the castle used to look like, and I think all that's left now is these turrets, or I think they're called turrets anyway, I might be wrong, and then part of the castle wall. So it says on here that Ulo Castle is a bit of a mystery, and the only reference we have states in 1257 Llewellyn built a castle in the corner of the woods, and that's about it. It's always good when there's a little bit of mystery around something. This is what's left of the castle wall. Looks like we're in luck. There's some steps leading up inside the castle. All these trees are growing inside the castle walls now. It's not actually a huge castle. I can imagine this was home to just a few small settlements. So I believe this castle was actually built inside the forest as a bit of a natural defence, as opposed to building huge castle walls around the perimeter. And it's also one of the few castles in Wales it's actually built by the Welsh, as the majority were built by the English. It's pretty cool, isn't it? You can see what's left of the huge windows. It's amazing that they constructed this so long ago. This sign's up not to climb on any of these walls, so I won't climb over, but I'll stick the camera in as far as I can so you guys can see. Looks like what's left of walls for some small rooms. I always think the engineering was amazing behind these. To think they built them so long ago without all the modern day construction techniques that we use and the big heavy lifting equipment. It's a hell of a feat. Looking at it, I think the majority of the castle's been constructed with sandstone. It kind of makes sense for the area it's in. Let's go and head up these steps and see if we can go to the top. I'm sure back then, without all the satellites and the phones and the maps that we've got now, this would have been a little hidden gem. No one would have knew it was here. Actually gives you a better perspective of the scale of this castle when you're up here. It doesn't look much when you're down there, but up here it's still quite big. There's even a nice little stream tucked in the forest down there. And at least we got to go and see the inside and the outside of this one. Let's head back down and find the next castle. Right guys, let's get going to our third destination. So we're going to be heading to Flint Castle. Here we go, that rain's finally caught up with me. It's coming down now, a bit heavier. That's a nice easy one again. Looks like we made it, guys. And the castle is right next to the car park. That makes life a little bit easier. I think I'm going to have to pay in this one. Let's go and find out. False start there, guys. Can't get access to the castle from that car park, so I'm going to move. There we go, castle car park. Let's see if I can actually get in this one. Got another height restriction. This is the problem with having the tent on top of the roof. I think I'm 7'2". I have measured it, but I always forget. And there's the castle. Just there. Right guys, so we've arrived. So this is Flint Castle, and I believe this was built in 1277, and it was one of the first castles that Edward I built in Wales to sort of control the North Welsh border. It looks like we've got some footpaths going through the castle, so we should be able to explore this one a little bit as well. It's definitely a lot bigger than the other two castles I've just been to. So you can see how the castle used to look on the map. We've just come in this way here, over the bridge, and this is what the castle would have looked like at one point. With the exception of the walls, the majority of the castle looks like it's still here. Right, I'm inside now. Gives me a bit of a better look. You can see the view they would have had from up here, right across the River Dee. So I believe that in 1339, King Richard II was actually captured here and effectively ended his reign. Looks like we can get down here as well. It's a little bit dark and dingy down here. Let's head back up. can tell you one thing though, they must have needed those castle walls. It must have been so windy living out here, as it's so exposed, there's nothing to break up the wind. Looks like all this would have been the foundations of the internal walls, or what's left of them anyway. Right guys, here's our third castle. Let's try and get on to the next one now. Those last three castles there, vastly different to each other. You got the first one which is completely destroyed, the second one which is hidden away in the forest, and then this third one which is a lot bigger and it's got that fantastic view right across the salt marsh. So let's head on to our fourth castle. So we're going to be heading up to Rudling Castle. So I've got about a 30-minute drive and then we'll be at our fourth castle. Not doing too bad so far. There she is, just sitting on the river. So I'm now at Rudling Castle. Let's go and see if we can get in there as well. Well, that's typical. Looks like I can't access this one. I've still got some good views of it. It's another nice big castle. The Welsh flag's blowing in the wind again there. That rain started again. I'm going to go and try and explore the outer grounds and see if we can get a bit of a better look. Managed to get up on the railings, so hopefully we can get a bit of a better view here. So really interestingly, this castle was actually built concurrently with Flint Castle, which is the one we've just been to visit, and that was back in 1277. And Rudling Castle was actually King Edward I's temporary home during his conquest across Wales. This one's definitely in better condition than the other three we've been to see. It's still got most of its walls, and you can even see where the moat used to run around the perimeter of the castle. No water in there anymore, just green grass. Unfortunately guys, I think that's as much as you're going to be able to see on Rudling Castle. So let's move on to the next one. So this is Castle again where we're heading to next, and that's in Conway. I think I've got about 45 minutes to an hour's worth of daylight left, and the next castle is about 30 minutes drive. So I think this may well be the last one of the day before I head in and find somewhere to camp for the night. Not only am I trying to race the light, but I'm also battling all this traffic. Right guys, fifth one of the day. There we go, we need to be going that way. I think luckily I've still got plenty of daylight left. A little bit deceiving sometimes when the rain clouds are out and just makes everything look a lot darker than it really is. Just went right down on my wrist. That hurt. I'm definitely on the right track. I'm starting to see some remains of what looks like an old wall. I think I want to be going up here. Does it count if I can see another castle from where I am? Just over there is Conway Castle. I haven't got in that one because it's not free to get in, and that's part of the rules of this challenge. That's definitely the best view I've had all day. See right out across the sea, and the sun's just heading down there. What a beautiful place for a castle. I think we're near the top of this little summit now, so hopefully we'll be able to see the castle. This is it guys. This is what's left of the castle. It's not what I expected at all. So this is all that's left of the castle walls. So I think out of all the ones I've been to, this is the least complete. I almost walked off the edge then. Wasn't expecting that. Definitely looks like a bit of a different construction to the other ones. The rocks they've used up here all seem to be a lot smaller than we've seen on the bigger castles, but kind of makes sense because I don't expect this to have been a big castle when it was complete. What a view that is there. Right, so I'm going to get away from this edge before the inevitable happens. Alright guys, that was castle number 5, and as you've seen, the sun's starting to go down, so I'm going to head back down and try and find somewhere to camp for the night. And then we've got a few hours tomorrow to try and get a couple more castles in. Managed to find the most complete parts of this castle on the way down. I'm going to enjoy this hot chocolate in the back of the truck, and then I'm going to go to bed. I'll catch you in the morning, guys. Right guys, it's time to hit the road. I'd like to stay a little bit longer here, but unfortunately I'm against the clock. The next castle I'm heading to is only a short drive away. It's in Llandulus. I'm not sure entirely how to pronounce the name, so I'll put it up on the screen. I think I can get in the grounds for free, but just not the interior. So I'm going to go and try my hand there and see how we get on. Oh, this is definitely a bit of a grand entrance compared to the other ones. Let's see how far we can get up here. Starting to see the castle. Oh, and the gates are closed. Hang on. Do so at your own risk. Oh, well, let's put an end to that. I've just had a quick look online and it doesn't open until 10 o'clock, so I'm not hanging around for 2 hours. Next one, guys, let's try Bodderwydden. There you go. Bodderwydden Castle. So I think the bit I'm in at the minute is actually being used as a hotel. But we're going to try and get round and get access to the actual castle. The signs everywhere saying it's private. It's not going to be another disappointment, is it? You used to be able to come and access this. I think I'll park up and see if I can get access. Right guys, let's go and have a look at Bodderwydden Castle. Well, I'm not a hotel guest. I don't think anyone's going to know. There's the castle, guys. It's definitely the most complete one we've seen so far. See if we can get a closer look. So I've just done a little bit of research, and in 2019 the property was actually sold, and the new owners that bought it actually closed the grounds and the interior of the castle to the public. So the actual castle itself was built in 1460 by the Humphreys family from Anglesey, and it's got that Gothic style to it. It's really well maintained, and you can see why there's still people living in it today. You can just see in the distance over there you've got the marble church as well. I think we can officially class that as castle number 6. Let's go and see if we can do another one. Right, we haven't got much time now, so see if I can make it to Denby Castle next. Denby. So a bit of an update on the 24-hour clock. I've used 22.5 hours up to now, and I've got Denby to do, and I did want to do one more after that, but that's at least a 45-minute drive away, so let's see how we get on at Denby. We have arrived. Castle number 7, guys. Let's go and have a nosy. Made it to another one. Quite nice, this one. This castle was actually built by King Edward I. I think it dates back to 1282. So we can't actually go in the castle grounds, you've got to pay to get in there, but you're alright to walk around the perimeter. One of the reasons it's so famous is for these massive gatehouses that it had. There's actually 3 of them. They are really impressive, to be fair. Go and take a look inside here. I've no idea what purpose this served. I suspect at one point it had a roof on it, and maybe it was just somewhere for one of the guards to stand. You can just see here what the outside of the rock face used to look like, and that's all crumbled away, and all this is left now. Every castle I've visited on this trip, I'm just amazed about how well constructed they are, considering how long ago it was. What a stunning place. Unfortunately guys, I think Denbigh Castle is going to be the last one on this trip. I've had a little look at the distance to the next one in Llangollen, and it says about an hour and 10 minutes drive, and I've only got 45 minutes left, and there's also a 30-minute walk to the top of that castle. So we did manage to do 7 castles in the end in 24 hours. I'm going to say Yulo Castle is my favourite. I really like the location of that, just being tucked away in the forest. Let me know down in the comments which one was your favourite. I really hope you enjoyed this episode guys, and if you did, please consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on any future adventures. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers guys.